Hi, we're looking at my Blackboard course here. This is kind of a standard format for the Blackboard, the colors and the look of the homepage, etc. We're looking at this in student preview mode. As a teacher, I can turn on student preview mode so I can see what the students see, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with that capability. Moodle certainly has it. The home page is here, and there are some announcements and tasks that I can add as a professor. I can add announcements so that all of my students will see it every time they log into the Blackboard system. And this works across the system so that students can see announcements for all of their courses. My training from Project Zero leaves me with this idea of putting guiding questions in all my courses. Again, it's sort of a returning to the overall objectives of the course, but these are all also somewhat specific through lines or themes that carry out throughout the course. They're kind of sometimes a little bit less technical than the overall general objectives of the course. Sometimes more technical. So actually, that anyway, here they are. Um, I have a how this course works. Again, it's a good idea to at least have a quick narrative for the students. They will have to read through it once, but just a general idea of how you see the course working. Regardless of whether it's an online course, a blended course, or whatever, students need to know what happens when and where. And particularly in an online course, they need to know where they're supposed to be looking. Um, Although it should be enough to say check the course every week or every day or every couple of days, it's not a bad idea to actually lay out a simple narrative. You could probably even do this with a diagram saying please go and check here at these times during the course. Where are we in the, oh, I'm sorry, parts of the Blackboard course. This basically launches a YouTube video. I
Hello and
won't
welcome
launch it
to
with you. Sorry
771.
about that. But it's just kind of a Camtasia program like we're looking at right now that we just went through and clicked on all the individual parts of the course. These are such easy programs, things like Camtasia or Jing, which a professor can learn to use, particularly Jing, to do a simple screen capture, a 30-second video of clicking on everything in the course. This would be kind of a critical thing to teach at least some of the faculty members, hopefully all of them, to explain to them, this is an easy way to show the students where things are and what you expect them to click on and look at and so forth. This one here, where are we in the course? Another aspect of my course design, always keeping in mind that students are going to come to an online course from at different times, from different points of their life, from different points of their day, or whatever. It's helpful for them to know where we are at all the time. So though you don't have to say every single day, here's what we're doing today. It's nice to say at least once a week, this is what we're doing, this is what's due in the next couple of days, etc. And when there is an important milestone that's reached in a class, something like a due date passes or whatever, it's a good idea to update this. I'm going to show you mine. I do it in a program called Evernote. You guys are probably familiar with it. Evernote lets me create and embed a web-based, or I guess a web page, right from my notebook. Evernote is also much easier to update from my old cell phone than Blackboard is. So I can just go directly into Evernote. I update my page, and it's already embedded in my course. And so wherever I am, I have this page embedded. I can add to it. So that's how that works. This course has a weekly content folder. Teachers might choose instead to arrange their course by other kind of content blocks. They might want to do unit. They might want to do lesson. Um, we could do this challenge based. Since this is a challenge based course, I could say design challenges and just put a folder for each design challenge. So I guess it's a semantic thing. But in any case, I have a folder for each individual segment of the course. In competency-based instruction, we might use folders for the large competency headings. So, we're going to learn to divide, 3-digit numbers, and then there'd be a folder on just that, and students would work through the folder, and that folder might include things, and let me show you an example. This is just a simple one. A welcome page, which really is just the instructions for how to do this, what we're going to do this week. I do also maintain here an overview lecture. Again, it's an embedded YouTube. Yeah, that's an egg. And then I have the actual challenge itself. This particular challenge, it's an introductory design challenge. Students will kind of jump in and they have to design instructions for making a hard-boiled egg. It's harder than it sounds, by the way. Anyway, so this is my first real challenge, it's largely about kind of getting the students to introduce themselves, and they're introducing themselves with a tangible product. They're actually going to design some instruction, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. From here, we'll move into the rest of the course, which is experimenting with different pieces of media. There's a journals area, and for our purposes in this course, the journal area is really a student portfolio and discussion space. I have just one journal here right now. It's just called the Intro Challenge Journal. This is a journal that's open and all the students can see all the postings. I will put a personal journal space here as well, so that only I and my students, each individual student will be able to see what they post. It won't be open to all of the students in the class. But I can post here and see my own journal entry down below, and this was just a sample that I put. I will try to blur out that student's name there, but I'd ask you to please just be confidential about it. I did show a student name there. Okay, so the journal area is nice because I can look at an entry. The students can put anything they want in these types of journal entries, and then as a participant, I can go in and comment on it. I believe I have commenting off for some reason on this sample entry that I did, but as a student, I could comment on another person's journal entry. There's a traditional discussion board. A threaded discussion is a nice thing. I mean, we've used them for years and they still work really well. And we can have these kind of threads set up and I can solicit input from my students. So far, I've only had a couple about my original challenge that we're doing right now, but I'm hoping that our students will participate in a discussion about our ongoing through lines or guiding questions for the course. And I'm also soliciting input for how we might do face-to-face meetings and office hours. Again, this is the kind of thing that you want to get, if possible, you want to get the input of the students in. It's nice to say, well, I only have office hours on Fridays or whatever, but it's nice to get some input from the students. It's also helpful to have student input on things like course through lines. You might be giving them the objectives, but as students, they need to actually verbalize that or put that into a question that they can connect all of their work to. So this all goes back to the whole idea of visible thinking and really understanding where you are personally in a course. Finally, I have a resources page. This is kind of interesting. There'll be pathfinders for every actual technology we work on. This is a technology class. So these are for presentation tools. There's the Pathfinder I spoke to you guys about on the phone. It just has links to kind of examples or whatever, things for conversation, and different types of tools that they can use to do presentations. And then down below I have some resource links on presentation. A very basic type of a thing, but just enough to get the students some interest, to maybe spark some interest if it's a tool they don't know about. Here's a critical part of the design here. We're working on learning the design thinking model in this class. And as we go through the course, there'll be lectures on design thinking and examples of design thinking. And actually, I didn't show you the readings, but there's readings on design thinking. Well, here's a place where as we go through and do our specific challenges, I've got a framework where we can crosswalk some of the activities that we do in each challenge with the different parts of the design thinking model. Granted, I'm creating assignments that target specific parts, and I'm showing tools that target specific parts of the design thinking model, but you can see where you would be able to do a crosswalk across the board, depending on the type of project that you're doing. Once again, the idea is to teach this model, so that's part of what I'm doing here is teaching the model, but I'm structuring my assignments around the different parts of the model. Um, I've actually never done this quite as formally as this before, and so just personally, this is an area of research interest for me for really connecting the instructional design process to the idea of design thinking. The next step beyond that really is connecting it to community-based design, where we would design, real-world solutions to real-world problems. So that's kind of what I'm all about at this point in my career. Anyhow, you got the general idea, I hope. And please let me know if you guys have any questions. And again, thank you for a really nice conversation earlier today. And I wish you guys the best of luck in your work.